All right, well, good evening, everybody. I want to take a minute and just welcome everybody to our maWebCenters Client Education Series. This webinar series is dedicated to providing you guys not only information on how to use our technology, but also how to apply the technology that we have to help increase your own sales for your business and increase your customer satisfaction, maybe decrease some other marketing expenses that you may have just by learning what we have and how you might be able to use that in your own business or your own organization. So with that being said, we felt that tonight would be a really great opportunity to talk about some simple things that you might want to focus on this year so that you can make your online marketing strategy as effective and efficient as possible. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk to you about why and how to develop a marketing budget and how to really delineate where you should be allocating specific funds to get the biggest return and to get the biggest, results for the money that you're going to spend if you're going to spend money at all. How to build or improve your responsive website. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Listing your website on online directories is another really great thing that we are recommending that you do this year, just to make sure that when people are looking for products, services, and researching these things, that they can actually find you on the search engines. We're going to talk about ways and why it's so critical today, more than ever, to build an online community. And then we're also going to talk about the importance of measuring your results. This is not just measuring your results for online marketing, but with our solution, you're also able to measure your results for all kinds of other marketing as well. And we're going to show you how you might be able to use some of the tools that come with the web solution by maWebCenters so that you can measure the results of all of your marketing as well. So with that being said, it's going to be a quick, 30, 45-minute session. And at the end, we'll be happy to take questions if you have any questions. And we'll just get right on into it. So before we talk about the topics tonight, I just want to remind you guys that if you go to youtube.com and you look for maWebCenters official channel, which is just / maWebCenters official, you can see the address right up here. One of the other ones that we recommend that you check out that might pair really well with tonight's session is prepping for 2016. So at the end of 2016, we did a session that was all about site planning and goals and planning for good content, what kinds of content were good to have on a website, and different ideas around SEO or how to use our technology to increase your visibility online, social media content and ideas and tools, digital marketing suite, what comes with that, and then really how to schedule or break out the timing for implementing your design, content, social media, and marketing ideas. So the cool part about that is, what we did essentially was to figure out, okay, if these are the 10 things that you want to achieve, and these are the 10 things that you're going to need to come up with content or solution for, how do you break that out into, a month or 2 months or a 3-month period of time so that you can actually tackle it? Because let's be honest, as business owners, you trade a 9 to 5 for a 24/7 sometimes, and you spend all of your time running your business, keeping the doors open and making sure that everything is running like clockwork. And so coming up with content and coming up with social media ideas and keywords and things like that, it might be a little bit overwhelming. And so it's important to figure out what your goals are and then prepare for how you're going to have that done so that you can keep everything manageable. Everything should be digestible, where you look at your to-do list here, and instead of just looking at the big picture, go ahead and figure out what the stepping stones are to get to that main point so that you actually have a shot at getting there. Because we all know that, businesses are busy, life gets in the way, and if you don't break it into small daily steps or weekly targets for yourself, it's going to be pretty challenging to get that big goal achieved in this area. All right, so that's a great one to review. And by the way, there are a number of other recorded webinars that you can view as well. And the cool part about that is that with this series, not only are they available in English, but they're also available in Mandarin. So if you have any clients or other business people that you're connected with that prefer Mandarin, we also have that available as well. And again, before we get started, I do want to take some time and to kind of review what kinds of resources and support you have available for yourself, because a lot of what we're going to talk about tonight, I'm also going to introduce you to some paid services that you have available. Just a second, but I'm hold on one second. I'm just going to mute. There we go. Is that better? Okay, much better. I apologize. So, I am going to talk to you about some options that you have, and that's one of the things that we really pride ourselves on is giving you options for implementing any of these ideas. One of the options that you have as an MA Web Centers client is to leverage the support that we offer you. And so I wanted to just take just a few minutes to kind of give you a quick tour of what that support looks like. So as we're going through the 5 ideas tonight, if the option that you want to choose for yourself around that suggestion is do it yourself, I want you to understand that do it yourself means also with support, and you have multiple ways of leveraging that support so that you can choose to do it yourself if that's what your budget is allowing for you to do this year. All right, so the first one I want to remind everybody is all of our clients have 24/7 home country support that they can call into. Technical support can be reached by dialing 866 web help. If you go to maWebCenters.com and you click on the contact us form, then you'll also notice that we have different local phone numbers for the different market countries that we do business in. So you can always find the additional phone numbers there. In addition, we have the ability to live chat or basically instant message with a technician who can answer your questions. If you prefer not to talk on the phone and you would rather read or just talk with someone, you can do that. The nice thing about that as well is if things get dicey and maybe what you're describing or what they're asking you to do becomes a little bit unclear, one of the options that you can ask for is, hey, can we screen share? And when you screen share, then they have the ability to see what you're doing and actually show you how to make the very specific change that you're trying to make. And again, their goal at support is not to do these things for you. Their goal is to teach you how to do them so that you don't have to feel frustrated or waste time going through this process again. So the first time you ask them for help on, say, for example, adding a new video, it might take a few extra minutes, but the idea is if they teach you how to do that, then it'll take you 30 seconds the next time you go to do it. In addition, we have an online help guide, which I'm going to give you a little quick peek at. And we've got recorded webinars, like I mentioned earlier, if you go to youtube.com/MAWebCentersOfficial. Another thing that is coming soon that should be launching in February, so in just a few weeks, are short tutorial videos. So our online help guide is it's all text and screenshots. So when you click on help, you can read how to edit text, how to work with videos, how to work with the e-commerce solution or add a new email account. And you can see when you click on those different topics, you can read about how to do that, and you can also see screenshots of what it looks like. But we've had a lot of requests in the previous months saying, hey, can you put together a few short tutorial videos that talk about a single topic and that's it. And so we're going to do that, and it will be launched. This will be available in multiple languages as well. And so we're really excited about that because sometimes you just want to watch somebody go through it first, and it's easier to learn that way. Now, the difference between those tutorial videos and, say, this webinar series is simple. The tutorial series is going to be about technology only, and they're going to be short, 3 to 5 minutes. So one tutorial video might be on how to add a new product to e-commerce. And it's not going to tell you about the best kinds of products or all the good ideas about how to implement, an e-commerce strategy. It's simply only going to talk to you about how to physically add a product to your e-commerce. And so the cool part about that is it's straight and forward, right to the point. This webinar series, on the other hand, is dedicated not only to showing you a little bit about the technology, but also about just ideas in general to grow your business with digital marketing. And so this is, not just about tech, it's also about application, where the tutorial videos are simply going to be about the technology. Um, in addition to all of those resources, we want to remind you that we've got a great online community ourselves that you can engage with us in: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, a blog, a website. You guys have a newsletter that we send out to you as well. And feel free to interact with us there. If you see something that you like it, ask questions. We'll write blogs with ideas that you can use to grow your digital footprint with your business. And just feel free to engage with us, ask questions, share if you've had a great experience. Let us know if we can improve anywhere, if we can help you in any area. We're happy to interact with you guys and provide as much support as we possibly can. In fact, uh, this is a huge priority of ours, is to be not just a website provider or a digital marketing solution provider or a social media provider. We want to be considered in partnership with you and helping to market your business or your organization or your website to the best of our ability. So a quick preview, and then we'll go on to the 5 strategies. When you log in to your account, on the top right hand corner here, you can see that there's a help button and a live chat support button. So I wanted to just point this out to you because this is where I think a lot of people are like, "What do you mean live chat? You see the phone number, but you don't know where to access the online help guide or the live chat support." So that's where you do that. Another cool little tip is, on all of the pages in your administration, this little green link here that says help for this page, what that does is it just jumps right to the help guide section that deals with whatever page you're on. So if you click on it here, then it'll jump to the page that talks about your page list and how to manage what you're seeing on the screen right now. If you're inside of the editor and you're editing a specific page and you see help for this page, it'll jump right to the section on editing content. And so I think it's kind of a neat little trick, and it saves you time having to search for the topics that you're looking for. So when you click on that, like when you click on help, for example, right here, um, you can just look up anything that you want: help with SEO, help with social media, help with editing, help with adding a video, help with emails or domains or e-commerce or whatever. The other cool part about that is at the top you'll see some links to jump right to the section that you're looking for. Or you can just scroll down and see everything. Or right here it says generate a PDF of this page, which is really cool. So I am very much a person that enjoys reading off of paper. So I like to have both. I love printing the PDFs and having a physical copy as well. I find it to just be a nice, easy reference, especially if you're trying to work on the website as you're, going through the help section. Sometimes it's easier if you don't have multiple screens that you can be looking at. So that's one thing you can do. And the other cool part is when you click on any of these topics, or, like I said, it's a combination of text and images. So right here, this section in the help guide was using your own text. To use your own text, first edit the page you want to add, and then it gives you step-by-step instructions and screenshots so you know what to expect or what it should look like. Hover your mouse over the text until it highlights in orange and then click on it so it shows some highlighted text. You may now click into place the cursor and add and delete text. Use your mouse to highlight the text and apply any formatting, such as font family and font size, and it's showing you examples. So, the help guide is for visual people, can be very useful. And for people that maybe you don't feel like talking to someone right now, or you don't have time, or you don't want to wait in line if the help is or tech support is very busy, this is a really great solution while you're waiting. All right, so let's get into it. The 5 simple strategies for a successful online presence this year. So the first thing is, first, you need to develop a budget. What is your budget? How will you spend that budget? And who will you spend it with, right? And so if you look on the right-hand side, you'll notice that Yodel conducted a small business survey, and on average, 50% of people, or actually more than that, most businesses spent less than $500 per month on their total marketing budget or their total advertising budget. 23% of all business owners spent nothing. 38%, or the lion's share of people, spent anywhere from $1 to $249. 18% spent 250 to 499. And then right here you can see about 20-ish% spent 500 to over $2,000 per month on marketing. So the majority of small businesses or organizations or medium-sized businesses are spending anywhere from $1 to $500 per month on their total marketing. And what does that mean? That means everything from online marketing to their website to their traditional marketing things. So online marketing would consist of things like website development and website maintenance, social media marketing, or managing a social media presence. Maybe they're doing online paid advertising. Paid advertising would be something like Google AdWords, or having a budget to spend on Facebook for boosting posts, or any other online directories or paid space where you're basically paying someone for higher placement in their directory, or other online marketing things. Traditional marketing would be things like print advertising, radio, television, or other. I will say, though, that with things like print, radio, or television, a lot of times you're looking at a minimum of $250 per month, or even per week if you're talking about something like a newspaper. And so if that's the way that you're going to go, that does cut pretty big into a marketing budget. So what we want to do is just kind of be aware of the different options that we have and take your temperature. Where do you fall in this survey? If we asked you this question, are you someone that's spending, the 1 to 249, 250 to 499, or 500 or more, or do you not even know? And that's something to ask yourself. Do you even know how much you've spent on marketing, or how much you'd like to spend this year on marketing? How will you spend that money? It's really, really important to make the right decisions and to develop that budget. I think a lot of people just don't make a budget at all. And the problem with that is, if you don't do a budget for your marketing, then two things generally happen. Number one is you don't spend anywhere, and therefore you just limit your potential. If you don't market your business, you're limiting it to simply what happens that day. You're putting all of the power into whatever happens that day. If somebody either walks in your door or they don't. They either call you or you don't. And so if you're not doing any marketing online or traditional marketing, then how can you get your name out there? That you're limiting your exposure if you're not doing any kind of marketing at all. The other thing that happens when you don't make a budget is you either do that, or you overspend, or you spend in the wrong places. So there are plenty of people that don't think about the marketing budget because they think, oh, well, I don't want to think about that, or I'm not planning on spending a lot. But then, some random thing or person walks in and talks to you about this new thing that will get your name out to 1,000 people, and maybe 1% of them will call you back, and it's only going to cost a couple of $1,000 to get started, and $500 a month, and before you know it, you're locked into some crazy contract that you can't get out of. And it's happened to a lot of people. Without naming names of different companies, I had one client that we've worked with, and excellent, awesome company. They have great rapport in the community. They do excellent work, great reviews, and all kinds of great things going on. So they wanted to try something new. They weren't really quite sure what they were going to try. And what they did was, somebody walked into their place of business and talked to them about mailers. And they were like, yeah, so the mailers are great, because what we'll do is we'll send out, a couple thousand of them to everybody in your community. And it was a few $1,000s to get started, and it was almost $1,000 a month, so that they could have these weekly mailers happening. Well, the craziest part about it was going to take upwards of 6 months or more before you would see any kind of return. And when you did see a return, it was only going to be about 1%. So here you have a perfect example of someone that knew that they wanted to do some marketing, but didn't take the time to think about where they were going to spend those dollars. And so they ended up overspending in a really bizarre place for a very small return on their investment and for something that they were pretty much locked into. I mean, otherwise you're losing out on whatever you put into it if you just give it 2 or 3 months, right? So it's a perfect case in point, and we've all done it. So the planning is important. The planning is important so you know exactly where you're going to spend that money, how much you're going to spend, and if you're going to try something new, at least you have the time to think about what it is and why you're going to do it. Second thing is you want to make strategic investments based off of where your customers go. So, certain things work better in other areas, right? And that's okay. So what's important is to just think about who you are and who you're trying to reach. All right, what do you sell or what do you promote? And where are your customers researching and buying? If you have a community where customers are very engaged online and your community forum or social media presence is huge, then you might want to think about advertising on social media. If you have a place where people still love to read the newspaper, and there are pockets of the country that are like that, but if you have places like that, then think about that. Think about keeping some of that traditional marketing in your budget and keeping that going, because the fact is your customers are reading newspapers. But also think about the best way that you can market your website within that newspaper advertisement, right? Because the fact is, with anything print or anything that's limited, like a commercial, which only gives you a certain amount of time, you're really limited as to what you can promote in that time or space. And so having a great website to help capture any of the business that you generate or interest that you generate from some of that traditional marketing can be the difference between that traditional marketing working or not working. So just think about all of those things. Strategic investments based off of where your customers go. And then finally, you also want to consider the return on the investment. What can you reasonably expect? What are you hoping to expect? And you want to keep in mind the changing status quo. So what the return on the investment was for, say, newspaper advertising 20 years ago is drastically different than it is today. And what the return on the investment for $200 spent with AdWords for a restaurant in New York City versus $200 for a restaurant, in the small town that I live in is also drastically different, because it's different levels of competition for that space in those cities. So there's a lot to think about, and I know it can be overwhelming, but when you're considering something new, you want to think about what the return is or the possibility of the return is. Where are your customers? What are you selling? What is the best space or platform or way to market that product, service, or whatever to those specific customers? And exactly how much do you want to allocate to that? And then stick to that. Stick to the budget that you give yourself. If you're gonna give yourself some wiggle room, then have some wiggle room money set aside to try something new, because there's nothing wrong with that, but you just want to make sure you have your solid budget, your idea of where it's going to go. And if you're going to, like I said, have some stuff on the side that you might want to keep available in case something new comes up that you want to give it a try or a shot to, definitely do that too. But I do think that clarity is important. When you're setting a budget for your business, for where you're going to spend those dollars, knowing exactly where, how, and what you're going to spend can really give you the best results, so that you don't end up overspending, not spending at all, or spending it in the wrong places. Know your options. So if that kind of a thing was overwhelming, or you're not sure, which way you want to go based on the budget that you have, what you want to do is you want to schedule an appointment with a product specialist at maWebCenters. It's free to do that, and you can discuss your options and the questions that you have. And they will go over all of those options for any of the budgeting around any of the ideas we're going to talk about later, or any of the ones that you're seeing on the screen. So for example, with design, if you want to do it yourself, you have the option to do that with support. And we took the time to go through what that support looks like at the beginning of the session tonight. Or if you want to have our designers do the design for you, you can do that. And again, a product specialist can talk to you about the different packages that there are and help identify if any of those are ones that you want to do. The same thing is true for marketing. Do it yourself. There's some local and regional ones, paid programs, social media programs, online reputation or Facebook advertising. And there's all kinds of options around that as well. And we're going to talk about these again in the future in just a few minutes. But I just want you to know that knowing your options and understanding what each option costs can be, a good component of your budgeting for this year, because you may decide you want to save money and try to do it yourself, or you may decide that, listen, you're too busy, you're not going to have the time to do it, and so you want to allocate a little bit of money, because it's a nominal fee to have this service done for you, and then get the ball rolling on your digital marketing the right way, managed by professionals. Another thing to keep in mind is maintaining your website. Do you want to do that yourself? Do you want to maybe designate a specific person or an employee that you trust to designate content on your website? Or do you not want to think about that at all and subscribe to the managed monthly membership program, where you pay a little bit of extra money per month, and then you get up to 10 hours of our designers available to make changes to your website for you? It's a lot cheaper than having an employee on staff whose job is to maintain the website. And again, it's up to 10 hours. Most people, that's plenty of time. And if you need more than that, they can discuss that with you as well. But the big point here is, again, we'll talk about the different services as we go through tonight's session. But the important part is to know that you have options. You have options to do things yourself. You have options to pay for service. And if you want to discuss those options in depth, all you've got to do is call and grab an appointment, and someone will set aside some time to talk to you about those options and help you decide which one is best for you based on your timing, your budget, and your needs. Number two is this is important. We've talked about this a few times over the past year, the importance of having a responsive website. And at this point, it's not really a suggestion. It is something that is critical to the success of your website. You want to build or improve the website that you have, and you want it to be responsive and simple. So if you look at the image here, this depicts exactly what a responsive website is. A responsive website is a site that automatically adjusts to be optimized for viewing based on what device it's being viewed on. So if you look here on the desktop version, you're seeing the full version of the website. When you get to the mobile or tablet version, you can see that it's a different version. It's smaller, so people can actually read what's on there, where if this image was showing up on this small screen, these little circles would be the size of like right here. So what happens is it automatically changes sizes so that it's automatically adjusts for the device that it's being viewed on to make it an optimal experience for the viewer. The reason that this is so important, really there's two of them. The first reason is that think about how many times you yourself go to a website on your mobile device. It's more than half the time. And that's true. The majority of traffic to search engines and to the internet is happening on mobile or tablet devices. And so with that being said, we want to make sure that we're giving a good user experience so that our customers or clients or potential customers and clients actually stay on the website and click around and actually use the site. If they have to pan and zoom, or they can't read stuff, or it's so zoomed out that they're having a hard time reading, they're not going to stay on the site. And the fact is that you're just not going to get the result that you want, and they're going to go somewhere else. So for the number one reason to do responsive is so that you keep your customers and prospects and candidates engaged. The second reason is because the search engines won't give you good placement or recommendations to people that are looking for your products and services on mobile devices if your website is not mobile friendly. So if I'm looking up for this product or this service or this blog on my iPhone, and this website was not optimized for responsive, then Google is actually going to recommend to me responsive websites first. And then they're going to recommend all of the other websites last, because Google isn't a referral business, and their job is to give the user the best return for the search, which means they want to give them websites that they know they're statistically going to stay on, which means it better be mobile or responsive. So, some basic suggestions. Now, again, the last webinar that we did, which was on prepping, gives you more specific ideas for content creation and planning. But some basic things I think that you should ask yourself if you already have a website and you want to improve it, or if you're looking to build a website for the first time, are simple. Number one, is it responsive? If not, that is the number one priority. Number two, is it appealing and easy to use? Does the design lend itself to be user friendly? Is it attractive? I mean, I know that sounds silly, but has your design been updated in the past 3 years? And if it hasn't, is this something that you need to do? Honestly, websites they can definitely benefit from a redesign every 2 to 3 years, for a number of reasons. But obviously, you also want to make sure that the website looks modern, because when your website looks up to date, and the design looks appealing, and the design lends itself to the user so that they can use the site easily, that keeps your customers engaged. It keeps them coming back. Is your contact information visible? What I mean by that is, do people actually have to click around to find your phone number, or is it obvious? Can they just click on the number and then the number calls? Is the content up to date? That's a really important thing. Does your website have the correct contact information? Does it have the correct pricing? Does it have your most up-to-date list of products and services? Are there people on your website that are no longer working for you? These are all important things, but the content needs to be up to date. Is it inviting or interactive? Meaning, does it call to action? Are there places where the people on the website can submit their phone number, or can ask a question, or can interact with you? And finally, and this is a front and back end thing, are there relevant keywords on the front end of the website and the back end of the website? We have a whole webinar on how to add keywords using Web Solutions by maWebCenters, and we recommend that you take a look at that, or use tech support or whatever. But having relevant keywords, keyword being relevant, keywords can really help with having your website show up on different search engines more. If the keywords are not relevant to the content on your website, then the search engines don't care. They actually, there used to be a whole bunch of weird things that you could do to just sort of push your website to the top for, less competitive keywords. But the fact is that if the words that you've chosen as keywords are not showing up into the content itself on your website, then you might as well not have even added them. So again, all of this stuff you can talk about on an appointment, or you can talk about using tech support. Keep in mind, when you do choose to go responsive, you have a few options. You can do it yourself. All of our website packages come with the ability to create a fully customizable, free, you don't have to pay for it, responsive layouts, and the ability to do everything that you want to do to that website design-wise with the help of tech support or on your own. You have full, if you don't choose a design package, doesn't mean that you have to choose a template or something like that. You have full capabilities of doing full customization. If you'd rather, start off with a little bit more of an in-depth layout that you can work off of, you can get a premium responsive layout for like $100. It's not very expensive at all. And that gives you 10 pages of compelling content, and they're responsive as well. So it's lots of great features and technology built right into them. Most people, though, when they're choosing to do a design or a redesign, And especially if you're choosing to do this just simply to go responsive, we'll go with a design package. And what's cool about that is you would be assigned a project manager and a team of designers that will work to customize a responsive design inside of the editable platform that we have so that you can actually edit the website going forward, and you've got a professionally designed website for a nominal fee. You'll want to talk about these options on an appointment, or just call into tech support and they can talk to you about it as well. But take a look at some of these designs. These designs are all custom designed for the business owner that ordered the design package. This is all designs that we've done for our clients, and our goal is to figure out exactly, what is your business all about and what makes you you, so that not only is it responsive and optimized for the best return and the best experience, but it's also a website that you're proud of, that represents who you are, and engages the users that you have. I mean, the person that is engaging with Ransom Hill Garlic is different than Blue Agave, which is different than this Greenwich cigar place. They're all very different companies, and as a result, they all have very different designs. The third thing we recommend is that you list your website on online directories. And if you've already done that, we also recommend that you check your listings. So an online directory is a lot like a phone book, except for it's online. And there's a number of online directories that you can submit to, and the more of them that you submit to and keep updated, the more chances you have to grab new business from people that are looking for your products or services. So Constant Contact surveyed 350 small businesses. I think it was 350. Yes, 350 small businesses. And what they found in this very small pool of 350 people is that 50% of them came across inaccurate listings of their business. What that means is, out of the 350 small businesses that were checking online to see if their business was listed, half of them found listings on Yelp or Google or Yahoo or wherever that had their business with the wrong phone number or their wrong address. Now, think about how many times that has happened where someone comes across, your listing on an online directory site and tries to call you and can't get you, or they get some wrong number. They might think you're closed, or they might get frustrated and think that's just unprofessional and not want to call you or do business with you at all. So having an accurate listing is pretty important. Otherwise, it gives the wrong impression. Of those folks, out of the 350, 49% of people never checked their listings at all. Like, they either submitted them once and never checked them, or they just never got around to checking them at all. So that's a lot of people that, didn't think that this was something on their to-do list that would be worth checking. But, the reality is we've all gone to Google and seen local search returns where it says, okay, like, this is the nearest place to you and here's their contact information. And, we've all done that. And if you get a wrong number, think about yourself as a customer or as a consumer. If you get a wrong phone number, you're not going to go and look for another phone number online. You're just honestly, you're going to move to the next listing and call them. You're either going to assume that they are closed or not open, or that they changed their number, and who knows if they've updated it anywhere else, but it's not worth your time or trouble, right? You're just going to go to the listing below it and call them. So you don't want to lose potential business this year by simply not submitting or confirming and checking your online listings. Some great places to list your website are online directories to look for are things like Google or Bing, Yahoo, Yelp, Yellow or Super Pages, DMAS, Scrub the Web, What You Seek, or Universal Business Listings. If you go to Google, you can look any of these up and you can submit your website and your business to local listings there. So another cool part is if you have a web solution by maWebCenters, then when you log into your administration, you can click on Submit to Search Engines. And right here on the right-hand side, we've got some of the top search engines that people check out, and links right to how to submit to Google or Bing, for example. It takes you right to google.com/business when you click on the Google one, and all you do is follow the instructions. And Google, because each search engine or online directory has their own questions that they will ask you. And yeah, this is a little bit time consuming. It might take an hour out of your time, but that hour can, end up leading you a lot more leads, because now you're increasing the visibility of your website and your business amongst several online directories or several online search engines. And you're doing that without any cost, because the majority of these companies don't charge a dime. I mean, I know that the yellow pages or super pages might charge for their online directories, but you don't have to do those ones. You can just stick with the ones that are free and honestly more effective, such as Google or Yelp, right? Those are great places to list your business. Some other options that you have for increasing your visibility online, as you're updating your listings, you may decide that you want to increase your visibility amongst search engines like Google and Yahoo in general. Maybe you want to show up more than just local listings, or maybe you want to pay for some higher ad placement, and drive more traffic during a focused period of time. Right? These are all things that you can do. Do you want to take an organic approach, and just really focus on your keywords and really focus on your online listings and focus on all of the free things that you can do? Or do you want to do, like I said, a paid AdWords program, and pay for that placement and just get to the top a little bit sooner? You also have the option to do these things by yourself and manage them by yourself using support, or you can leverage one of our paid programs. If you choose to take an organic approach, we would recommend a local or regional SEO package. These packages, are packages where it's a one-time thing, where our team of digital marketing experts will actually go ahead and log in and make sure that you are registered with search engines like Google and Yahoo and other online directories, so that people can find you, right? They'll also discuss some desired goals related to your website. They'll figure out what geographic areas you do business in, what are the demographics of your desired customer. They also will update your keywords, page titles, headings, page descriptions, and a few other ways that help you to stand out from the crowd organically. And so what this does is it positions you to do well on search engines, by simply just optimizing your website. Now, this is something I honestly recommend that you do for your website, whether you choose that this is the only way you're going to go, or whether you're choosing to do a paid AdWords program. This is something you should do anyway. We've actually done an entire webinar on how to choose keywords, page titles, headings, descriptions, and all of that great stuff. So if you want to do it yourself, and you want to save your marketing budget for something else, then I recommend checking out that recorded webinar and working with tech support and going ahead and optimizing your website yourself. But if you'd rather allocate a little bit of money toward this is something that you can do as well. The Google AdWords program is a way for you to pay for placement at the top of Google. Our SEO specialist will actually walk you through the entire process. They'll create your account, the campaign, determine what your budget is, the network, all of the different targeting, all of the stuff that that you would want a professional giving you advice on for how to properly launch an AdWords campaign is something that our digital specialist or SEO specialist will work with you around. The cool part about this is you'll also get a monthly report, which will show you how your campaign is working and the different changes that they make on a month-to-month basis based on the results that you're getting. So it's a nice option. And again, if you have any questions about this, you can call in and get a free appointment, and they will walk you through this through the whole process and all of the options that you have. The fourth thing we recommend is to build a solid online community. And we talk about social media all the time, and I think people, especially local business owners, you guys want to have social media, or you want to leverage social media. You should be, and you're just, some people are making it happen really well, and other people are just kind of dabbling in it. What I want to relay to you guys is that social media is the world's largest referral network. And we think about when businesses got the majority or the lion's share of their business by word of mouth advertising, right? That is social media. And except for it's even more powerful because now um, word of mouth advertising is not limited to someone that you run into or someone that you pick up the phone and call, but rather anybody that shares your business or anybody that comments on your business posts. Now it's being blasted potentially to the networks of everybody that's friends or fans of your business or anybody that has commented on that post. It's incredible. It's totally incredible the power behind this. And to me, the fact that Facebook, for example, is free to use. It's a free opportunity for you to participate in the world's largest referral network. You don't have to pay to use Facebook. You don't have to pay to invite people to connect with you online or to use this as a way to engage your customers and build rapport and build value and give them ways to share your business and interact with you. It's free. And I feel like if Facebook turned around and said, hey, in a year, we're going to start charging all of our users to use our platform because we know how valuable it is. In fact, there are over 3 billion active users on Facebook. Then most of us would actually find a way to take advantage of that over the next year and then, probably pay to continue to have that. It's a free opportunity for you to connect and network, not only connect and network through your customers, but through the networks of your customers. It's an incredible opportunity, and this should absolutely be at the forefront of your goals for this year for your business. The social strategy that you should think about. What platforms are you using right now to connect with your audience? There are a plethora of platforms. Currently, I personally use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Periscope. But I'll tell you what, before I used all of those, the only one that I used was Facebook. And from a business perspective, that's the largest one. And so, with over 3 billion users, if the only one you can use is Facebook, you're taking a massive step in the right direction. Another piece of advice around that is, if you have too many platforms that you can manage well, I would get rid of the ones that you can't use and master one or two and then add one more at a time if you feel like you need it. But identify what platforms you have, which ones you want to use, and how often you can commit to posting. With Facebook, we recommend that you post 1 to 2 times a day. You need to be consistent if you want to actually engage your community and create that sense of community. That means you have to be posting on a daily basis. You can schedule your posts, or what I recommend is just pick a time out of your day that you can be consistent. For maWebCenters, we post every single day around the same time. Anytime between 8:30 and 9:30, you're going to see us posting on our platforms because we have that time dedicated to creating and sharing unique content with our audiences. Now, throughout the day, our audience will comment or share or send us questions on social media, and we'll respond in real time, just like as if they called us on the phone. We treat our social platform that way, but in terms of creating and pushing new content, we try to stay consistent and just pick a time every single day that we do that. Decide what kind of content you want to push out. Social media is not just a place for you to share, your products and your services and deals and all of that stuff. You also want to give unique content to your customers that could be valuable for them. Just share content that's helpful for them for the sake of being helpful. In fact, you wanna think about doing that more often than you push deals, because again, you want to engage people, which means you need to give them stuff that's going to start conversations or talk with people versus talking at them. Can this be a source of customer care for you, for your customers or clients? Right? We like that. If someone posts a challenge on our social platform that they're having, we like to respond to them right away. So everybody, we want to communicate with our people. And at the end of the day, if they send us a message or they post that they are having a challenge, we're going to respond to them, right away and help find a solution for their problem together. And by the way, that's good advice for you as a business owner. If somebody does post a challenge that they're having with your business, don't delete it. just provide good customer care, because that is more powerful for you as a business owner than deleting it and dealing with the people that saw the complaint and then saw it get deleted. That's never a good way to handle it. Make sure that you're able to respond quickly as well. So overall, if you're going to do this yourself, I highly recommend you choose one platform that you're going to do well, that you choose one time every single day that you can post something, and whatever you post, make sure that the majority of what you're posting is just fun or valuable or unique, and then once in a while you're sharing stuff about your products, your services, or your deals. And finally, think about whether or not you can use this as a source of customer care, and if you're going to be able to respond quickly to people's questions or comments. You also have the option to, again, if you don't want to do it yourself and you do want to allocate some of the budget that you've set for yourself over to this, the other option you have is to subscribe to our social media management program. This program is a monthly program where we have social media specialists that will actually consult with you about what you're trying to achieve, and then they will create or manage profiles on social media sites of your choice, and they'll post written and image-driven content every single week, respond to comments, questions, and also consult with you on a monthly basis. And as many times, if you have questions for us, you can call up our team and consult with them with your questions whenever they come up. But this is a nice option for someone if this, you want to be on social media, you want to be active on social media, but you also know that you're not ready or you don't have the time. This could be a really good use of your marketing budget, because, like I said, over 3 billion users on Facebook alone, and that's a really big opportunity to engage with current and potential customers and clients. We also have another package called Online Reputation Management, and what this does is it allows we actually scan the internet on a monthly basis for negative reviews, other reporting activity, or customer reviews that have happened on around your website. And when we find them, we assess the situation and we help to either launch a suppression campaign or respond to any negative reviews, and just help to maintain a positive online image for your business. So if this is something that's a concern for you and you need support, making sure your online reputation is a good one, this could be a really good use of your budget as well. And finally, the last thing that we recommend is that you measure your results. You want to always measure, monitor, adjust, and control the results of anything that you're doing. And so by monitoring something as simple as your web traffic, you can actually measure the results of the performance of your website, your search engine performance, traditional advertising, or other forms of advertising that you're doing. And again, the way that you do that is monitoring the website traffic or sales, if you have e-commerce, that you have. So take a look at this survey. This is the same survey that was done to that same group of 350 people. And take a look at this. I mean, this is amazing to me. But the question that we asked 350 business owners was, how do you measure your results for marketing? And the top response, 56% of people said they don't measure the results for marketing at all. So for me, I mean, I find that really crazy, because you're spending all of this money on advertising or marketing and you don't know if it's working. So either who knows? What if you cancel something that's working really well and you're not measuring it, and then you cancel it, and then all of a sudden you see a huge decline in your business? Or you're overspending in some areas where you should probably be pulling back and, redirecting those funds to a different marketing avenue. You will never know how to do that if you don't have some way to measure your results. The second highest response was 31% of people said that they track the number of phone calls that they receive and where they came from. 25% of people said they tracked the number of emails they received and where they came from. 9% said that they counted likes or check-ins, or basically their way of measuring results was to see how popular they were on social media. 6% said they tracked in some other way, or only 4% of people said that they used a marketing vendor that tracks customer leads for them. So what we want to do is talk about how we give you a tool that helps you track the results of your web traffic, which in turn will help you to track the results of other things like websites, search engine, or other advertising that you might be doing. You can use the statistics tool to measure, monitor, adjust, and control the different forms of advertising that you do. You can actually check your website traffic by all of these different measurements. You can check the total amount of views by the month, by the day, by the hour, from where and which pages. And I'm going to show you what that looks like and why each one would be important. The first one is to just simply check the amount of traffic that you had in general. When you check, you can actually check different reporting periods. You could check by the month in the specific year, or you can actually switch and not check monthly history and just say, I want to know my total traffic for the entire year. When you get to the bottom here, it's going to show you a number of different statistics. The first one is the number of unique visitors. A unique visitor would be someone that's visiting your website for the first time from whatever device they're viewing your website on. So that's an important number. The total number of visitors is right here, 1,203. So of the 1,203 visitors, 883 were visiting your website for the first time. That tells me that the website is actually pulling in a lot of brand new traffic and brand new potential customers. That's an interesting statistic for me as a business owner. Of the 1,200 people, they viewed 5,429 pages, about 4.5 pages per visit. That's another great number as well. That means that not only are we having a great number of visitors, but they're also staying on the website and clicking through it, which means the design, this is a responsive website, by the way, can't you tell? The design is lending itself to the user and encouraging or inspiring them to stay on the website and click around and see what we're all about. Over here, you can check the days of the month, and you can actually get those more specific statistics to the right over here. So this is the month of September, and you can see right here that there was a peak in traffic for this business owner on the 11th and on the 14th, and then a little bit up and down, a little bit up and down, and then again kind of upper from the 20th and the 21st and so forth. But you can see these peaks in visits, and then over here you can see. I mean, look at this peak in visitors: 198 visitors on September 11th, and then 120 visitors again on September 14th. So if I'm a traditional business owner and I'm running a newspaper ad on September 11th, and I see that my traffic is 198 people, and they viewed over 1,000 pages on that day, then I know that newspaper ad worked. Or here's another thing: if I'm a business owner and I know that on these 2 days I did some Facebook boosted posts, I did some Facebook advertising, I know that it increased my visibility to my website, right? I'm here, I did some Facebook advertising, and instead of around, anywhere from 60 to 100 visitors, I had almost 200 visitors on that day. That means that it worked. I sent more traffic to my website, and whatever I was doing was good. On the same token, on the very next day, the website traffic dropped by over 100 people, more than 50%. So whatever I tried on this day or whatever I didn't do on this day resulted in less website traffic. So these numbers are important. They just give you a nice clear picture so you can decide, whatever you're doing to send traffic, whether it's working or whether it's not working. But there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can't, these are the numbers. It's either higher or it's lower, or it is whatever it is. Same thing on days of the week. So you could see here that obviously this business gets the highest engagement on Mondays and Fridays. So what does that tell me as a business owner? Well, it tells me that if I'm going to update my content, I want to make sure my website is up to date on Mondays and Fridays, because that's when people are visiting it the most. Hours of the day, the biggest peak are from 10 a.m. to 11, 12, 1, 2, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So morning to midday. Interesting. Again, just lets you know that if that's when the peak hours that our website is being used, and that's when I want to drive the most amount of traffic to it, because that's when people are, looking for that kinds of content. Just gives you really good information. Here they're telling you where the visitors are coming from by country, or from which pages they're looking at. So this is showing the schedule page, register for classes, workshops, e-commerce, about us, whatever. You could see the top page that people are looking at is the schedule. The second most visited page is registering for classes. So that's just interesting for us to know. Here's another little tip. If as a business owner you want to create some sort of a landing page and market that landing page, you can measure the success of that specific landing page right here in the statistics. So let's say you build or you own, let's say you own a roofing company, and you want to build a landing page that talks all about, protecting your roof in the winter, and you want to market that one page on Google. You can not only measure whether or not the traffic is happening on the day that you actually market those pages on Google or Facebook or wherever, but you can also find that page listed right here and see exactly how many people viewed that one specific page. So you've got all kinds of very valuable information that tells you how that one specific page did on those very specific times that you are marketing it. And again, the idea here is that we don't want you to just spend money on packages that you may or may not need. We don't want you to take money away from other areas that you're spending it that are working. We want you to have the most successful online strategy as possible. And if you actually look at these reports and start measuring the results that you're getting, you'll have a very clear idea of what things you want to continue to do and what things you might want to pull back on, and some areas that you may want to try or redirect some of that extra budget toward. So I hope that that's been helpful for you. Just as a quick recap, the 5 simple strategies for this year that we hope that you'll take you'll take a look at and do for yourself are: number 1, develop a budget. Develop a budget so that you don't overspend or spend in the wrong areas or underspend in areas where you could be getting great visibility for yourself. Number 2, build or improve your website by doing so responsibly in an appealing way that is simple and interactive with your potential clients and your existing clients. 3, list your website on online directories. Make sure that your listing is accurate and up to date. Number 4, build an online community. Leverage social media, which is the world's largest referral network, and referral marketing or word of mouth marketing will be the biggest for you this year than it's ever been. And number 5, measure your results so that you know that that budget and where you're spending your very valuable budgeting dollars and your time are working for you and giving you the best return on any of the investments that you're making. As a final reminder, don't forget these sessions are recorded and they are available on our YouTube channel generally the day after we have them on youtube.com/maWebCenters official. You can also visit maWebCenters.com for more information about any of the products or services that we went over tonight, or contact information or links to these different online resources. Thank you guys so much for spending your valuable time with me tonight, and I'm going to stay on the line and answer a few questions. If not, have a great rest of your evening and a rest of your week.